Willkommen back to the Raging Demons. And today I ask you, welche Art von GameMaster bin ich? In other words, what kind of Game Master am I? This is something that has been posed, has done in videos by other members of the community, namely Clack Click Bang with the Gentleman's Guide to Gaming. So I figured I'd touch base on it a little bit. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I haven't game mastered a game in a long time. Because I moved away from my last group. You know, trying to advance the other side of my life. And you know what? I mean, there's no way around it. You miss those guys. There's a gaming group here that I've interacted with as a player, but as far as a game master role, I haven't filled one of those in a very long time, except for some beta testing for my own role-playing game, which isn't the same. You know, that's a little bit more like trying to debug a new video game. But it's not the same as leading an established game with a round table of people that know and love the game, and yeah, it's not the same. So what kind of game master am I? I like to think of myself as fair, but flawed. I've had a lot of good experiences, but I have had some bad. You know, and from those bads, I picked up on what went wrong and have made changes since then. Because, frankly, I don't like to hear that somebody didn't enjoy my game. And it will happen to each and every one of you. And that's the cold hard truth. And it's a bit like rejection. It's like, you didn't like my story? Yeah, well, you know, sometimes it's not for everybody, and that's okay. But when it's a good flaw, excuse me, just apparently I decided to have a Kowakian monkey lizard inhabit my eye duct for a second there. Where was I? Oh, there it is. Okay, so you don't like to have people not liking your game, but if it's a valid reason, you need to make changes. Otherwise, it's going to keep coming back again and again and again and again. And next thing you know, you'll never be asked to GM again. I mean, some of the flaws I've experienced are, you know, tending to, I believe one game was, I tended to reward the party more than was necessary, and then it just became a little bit went off the rails, and so tried to trim it back. But instead of doing it as I thought I should, it was actually taking a little too much away. So it was twofold: too much reward, too much punishment. So it really was a disastrous move on my part. And I've learned since then. Now, game mastering, for me, is all about the story. It's all about the story being told. But more so, the story that's been laid out, and you're waiting to see what the characters are going to do with it. Case in point, I like what-if scenarios. I like them a lot. Case in point, I'll give you a freebie. I had a group of characters playing mundane, average, run-of-the-mill people, all occupying the New York subway system. They were on a train, and they're going wherever, whether it be where they work, where they live, typical mix of people. Now, an invasion of, let's call them alien beings, erupts into the city and wreaks havoc, completely devastates street level. And I mean, like, they tried to get to street level when the car stopped, and people are being just, torn apart. It's chaos. It's the worst thing you could possibly ever see in your life. And they had to make the best of the situation and get away from the immediate danger, and then figure out what they're going to do from there. Kind of like if you walked into a zombie apocalypse. I can't stand zombie apocalypses now because it's been so overdone. But I mean, it's about the same. It's just a wave of unstoppable force that you need to escape or be consumed by it. So, I mean, I just wanted to. The what if for me in that scenario was, what if average people got into this instead of epic heroes? That's the only time I really like to deviate away from heroic characters, because I do find that player characters should be heroic. They should be above average. They should be not so mundane. They need to, like, that's the point. That's why you're playing them. That's why they're so important. That's why, all those things. But game mastering for me started at about 14, when I first got into the hobby. Actually, like, it just like, oh, the gaming group I was in said, oh, do you want to try? And when I did, it went over so well, it kind of stuck. Which I encourage. If you have players in your group that are interested in game mastering, put them into like a rotation, like a hat. Put names in a hat and draw them. Next week we're gonna do your game, and give them the opportunity, like, prepare and just get things going and see where it goes. I did it a couple times in my group. Some of the games were it's their first game and they're interesting. Some were just so outlandish that they never got asked to do it again. There was no repeat. But they were at least given the chance, right? And even they knew that by sitting in that chair, they're like, oh my god, there's a lot to think about, a lot to do, and they find out that what they thought was good ad-libbing was not. Is not their strong suit after all. They think their improvisation skills are pretty good, and then they get in the chair and they're like, oh my, I never would have conceived you guys can't do that. That's totally, the best laid plans, right? That's another thing I like to do. I'm a big ad-libber. It's because I find that I have so many other things on the go. Preparation is near impossible. At least on a meticulous scale. I can't sit there and draw out a dungeon anymore. I get a rough layout in my head, maybe even I sketch it down. I'll know what monsters are there. I know I can create entire worlds. I know roughly what each part of it is supposed to be like, what kind of mix is going to be there, but I can't do the planning. Not anymore. I've had a group that's been way too off-kilter, way too chaotic, anarchistic. They are such free thinkers that there's no way you can prepare. So you have to become like Improv 9000, the super duper GM on the fly robot. So yeah, that's basically it. That's kind of game master I am. Fair and flawed, and incredibly improvisational. And actually, if you haven't been able to tell, a lot of my videos are improv. No big surprise there. I just shoot from the hip because I feel that if I script it, one, I'm going to miss the point, and two, it's going to seem fake and forced, and you guys are going to know for sure. And also, when you start scripting it out, you can start deleting pieces of your personality that maybe you're not all that thrilled about. You're embarrassed about. And I want to put myself out here on the chopping block, free of that sort of censorship, and just get if I deserve to get slagged, I'm gonna get slagged, and you guys are gonna be the ones to do it because you're in the community. You understand. You understand where I'm coming from and what I'm saying, and in my opinion, your opinion is what matters. So But hopefully, I mean, if life tends to work out over the next couple of years, we very well, a select few of you, we may hook up at some point at a convention or wherever, and we might actually game together. And frankly, that interests me more than anything else in the world, because one, I haven't been a game master or even a player for a very long time, and two, I mean, I just adore this hobby so much. I mean, that's why I started this channel, because I couldn't keep it inside my head anymore. So, you guys take care. I might be posting a few more videos today, depending on whether or not there's good subject matter that I can cover. If you have any suggestions, please send them my way. I would love to answer or comment on just about anything that you guys have to say. And but yeah, on that note, I'm gonna leave you there. Keep the dice rolling, guys, and thanks for watching the videos here on Rage of Demons RPG. Cheers.